Channel 11 News starts with breaking news.
The Steelers will not play the Tennessee Titans on Sunday. Good afternoon, I'm Gordon Lesh.
And I'm Peggy Finnegan. The league making that decision after 3 Titans players tested positive for COVID-19. Channel 11 Sports Director Albie Oxenrider live at the Steelers training facility on the south side.
Albie, the NFL says the game will be Monday or Tuesday. What else do we know?
Hi, Gordon. Hi, Peggy. When we talked to Ben Roethlisberger this morning around 9:30, all indications were the Steelers would be still playing this game on Sunday at 1 o'clock, and that echoed what Mike Tomlin told us yesterday. But things changed dramatically in the last hour when the NFL confirmed that the game has been postponed to Monday or Tuesday. Here's a statement from the NFL. The Steelers-Titans game, originally scheduled for Sunday at 1, will be rescheduled to allow additional time for further daily COVID-19 testing and to ensure the health and safety of players, coaches, and game day personnel. Details on the new game date and time on either Monday or Tuesday will be announced as soon as possible. The Titans facility has been closed presumably until this weekend, probably Saturday. This will allow them more time for testing. It will also allow the Titans to kind of get things in order down there after 3 players and 5 members of the front office were diagnosed with COVID-19 after some positive tests. Again, the big news, the Steelers game Sunday at 1 o'clock with the Tennessee Titans in Nashville has been postponed, and that's confirmed by the NFL. It will be rescheduled for either Monday or Tuesday. We hope to have more information on that later throughout the day, but stay with us online and on air as we bring you any developments. Live at Steelers headquarters on the south side, I'm Albie Oxenrider, Channel 11 News.
All right, thanks so much, Albie. And also breaking at noon today, former Vice President Joe Biden on his way to Pittsburgh, and this is a live look at his stop. This is in Alliance, Ohio, where his train arrived in just the past 10 minutes, and we're told he is expected to speak there very soon. Just hours after the first debate ended, the White House hopeful is taking that Amtrak train tour. He's going from Cleveland all the way to Johnstown.
And Biden will make several stops in our area this afternoon. The first will be in Pittsburgh. Channel 11's Melanie Gillespie joins us live with the details there. Melanie.
Well, Peggy, Gordon, on the heels of last night's first presidential debate, Vice President Joe Biden will be taking his campaign by train and making his first stop in Pennsylvania, and it'll be right here in Pittsburgh. Now, former Vice President nominee Joe Biden kicked off his train tour in Cleveland this morning. You can see video of his first stop here. This train tour, called Build Back Better Express, comes literally just hours after that chaotic and fiery debate last night between Biden and President Donald Trump. Now, Biden says this campaign tour will highlight how he will build our economy back better for working families and not the super wealthy and corporations. Here's what Biden said this morning in Cleveland.
Folks, this election is a choice between Scranton and Park Avenue values, between Cleveland and Park Avenue values, between Alliance and Park Avenue values. But it's also about something deeper. Can these parents look their kids in the eye and say, honey, everything's going to be okay?
And from here, Biden will make 3 other stops in Westmoreland County. We'll be following his stops from Greensburg to Latrobe, and we'll have much more live coverage for you coming up tonight at 5. For now, reporting live in Pittsburgh, I'm Melanie Gillespie for Channel 11 News.
All right, thanks so much, Melanie. Meantime, President Donald Trump is paying a visit to the battleground state of Minnesota today. He is holding a Make America Great Again event at Duluth International Airport. This will be the president's 3rd trip to Minnesota since March. Richard Nixon was the last Republican presidential candidate to win that state. That was way back in 1972, although Trump came close in 2016. Embarrassing, disgraceful, a train wreck.
Yeah, those are some of the words being used to describe last night's debate.
NBC's Tracy Potts is in Washington with highlights of what happened and what didn't.
I'll be honest, it's a very important
Try to be honest.
It was a debate like America has never seen, an absolute free-for-all at times. 90 minutes of constant interruptions, with Fox News moderator Chris Wallace losing control.
Gentlemen, I hate to raise my voice, but it seems to me, why shouldn't I be different than the two of you?
The tone between President Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden often combative.
Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what?
The president went after Biden's son, Hunter.
He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He wasn't dishonorably.
Cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you became vice president.
Questions about President Trump's Supreme Court nominee devolved into a hashtag.
Will you shut up, man? Listen,
Shut up, man, trending on Twitter. There was name-calling on both sides.
Everybody knows he's a liar. You're the worst president America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just tell you, Joe, I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe.
The moderator trying to draw out differences on COVID, the economy, the president's taxes.
I paid $38 million one year. I paid $27 million
Show us your tax returns.
I went... you'll see it as soon as it's finished. You'll see it.
The president agreeing to call out white supremacist groups, but then struggling to name one.
Well, then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call them... What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a name.
Biden repeatedly trying to distance himself from the left in a debate that struggled for substance. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
Why should the
A CNN poll found that 6 in 10 people who watched the debate believe that former Vice President Joe Biden did the best job. About 3 in 10 say the same about President Trump.
All right, off that, and now to the weather. Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Danielle Dozier joins us live.
And Danielle, getting a little windy out there today.
It is for sure windy out there, guys. We are taking a look right now outside. We've got temperatures that are in the upper 50s, and those winds are sustained right now at 20 miles per hour. You see that camera lens shaking there. Winds right now in Greensburg at 17. Butler checking in at 21 miles per hour. The gusts are even higher up in Butler at 28, and those winds could gust up to about 30 miles per hour today. Temperatures will be climbing into the middle 60s this afternoon. A lot of us have been dealing with some early day sunshine, but I expect that to change. I'm going to walk you through the rest of your afternoon forecast. We'll also talk winds and when these strong winds will finally let up, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you then. And back to school coverage now. Bethel Park School Board members approved the plan that will get students back in class.
Channel 11's Mike Holden explains how they plan to do it safely.
It is official. The Bethel Park School Board, as well as district leaders, have given the green light for kids to come back into the classroom at least part-time under this new hybrid model. After talking with parents, they say this is the best option possible because they say this is ultimately where kids succeed. Students in Bethel Park are now moving to a hybrid model of learning. The school board and district leaders approved a safe return to school plan last night. Under this new hybrid setup, which starts on Monday, students will be split up into 2 different groups. Each group will go to school in person for 2 days a week. They will then complete courses online at home for the other 3 days. A Bethel Park school spokesperson said this was long part of their plan to offer students a hybrid instruction. District leaders say they are constantly now monitoring the COVID-19 cases in both Allegheny County and across the Commonwealth. They're taking the necessary protective safety measures moving forward. A board member says overall, this was the right choice.
Children learn the best when they can interact with their teacher. This new plan will allow students the opportunity to interact with their teachers every day.
And that hybrid plan officially starts Monday, October 5th. District leaders told parents directly that if they don't feel comfortable sending their kids into the classroom at least part-time, they can choose to continue doing remote online learning. I'm now working to talk with local parents about their reaction to these changes and how they're adjusting overall. For Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting in Bethel Park, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Classes will continue as normal in the Ringgold School District after 2 students at South Elementary tested positive for the coronavirus. District officials say they were informed of the positive cases early Monday morning and that contact tracing, was done. Anyone who may have been in close contact with those students will be asked to self-quarantine.
Students at Gateway High School and Mosside Middle School will be remote learning until at least next Friday. It's new details on a story we brought you as Breaking News Monday. Because of an increase in COVID cases, the district made the decision to keep kids home.
Police in Sharpsburg would like your help tracking down a woman who's on the run.
She's accused of putting her daughter in danger and then taking off. Channel 11's Liz Kilmer has that story.
A mom is facing several charges, and her apartment's now condemned after court documents say she had her child living in a deplorable hoarding situation. According to neighbors, all of this was crammed inside. Piles and piles of garbage and belongings captured outside this building on Penn Street in Sharpsburg. A more disturbing sight, how police say it looked crammed inside one of the apartments, now condemned. There, Dawn Ecker was reportedly living with her young daughter, and now she's facing several charges. Sharpsburg police were called there August 26th after a CYF caseworker reported that Ecker ran away from her during a welfare check. Officers went inside and found the girl in what court documents describe as abhorrent conditions, with an odor and apparent crack pipes and other drug paraphernalia within reach. Neighbors are heartbroken to hear it.
It's a shame because the child should not go through that. That's mental abuse. It really is, and it's just something a child should not go through.
And the child was placed in emergency protective custody. We'll have more on the investigation. You'll hear more from neighbors tonight at 5. In Sharpsburg, I'm Liz Kilmer, Channel 11 News.
Breaking in the last hour, Kentucky's Attorney General has asked for a 1-week delay in releasing recordings from private grand jury proceedings in the Breonna Taylor case. The decision to release them came after an unnamed grand juror in the case asked to be allowed to speak publicly. Former Officer Brett Hankinson is facing wanton endangerment charges for firing bullets that ended up in a neighboring apartment. He has pleaded not guilty. The state's Attorney General did not recommend murder charges.
It seems like busy work and it's not very fun, and it takes a while to see the results of it.
But it is very important. After the break, the changes families need to know about as they start looking into financial aid for college.
And today's an important deadline, how missing it could end up costing you money and a place to live.
You're streaming WPXI now. Channel 11 expands its streaming live newscasts. When other stations are national, Channel 11 News is local, right here at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on WPXI Now. Channel 11 News investigates and digs deeper.
The federal judge denying the Commonwealth's request for a stay.
You cannot pick and choose who can gather. What does this ruling mean for you and your family?
Count on Channel 11 News.
Watch The Kelly Clarkson Show weekdays at 1 p.m. right here on Channel 11.
Today is the last day to apply for CARES rent or mortgage assistance during the pandemic. Applications must be postmarked by today, but if you live in Allegheny County, you can apply online. We have a link to that application on our website. Go to WPXI.com, click on coronavirus. Starting tomorrow, families sending a student to college will be able to complete the free application for federal student aid, otherwise known as FAFSA.
NBC's Liz McLaughlin reports on why it's especially important to get the application in early this year.
Melissa Stapley is going back to college with the hope of becoming a dental hygienist, an opportunity she was able to afford with the help of financial aid.
You just have to lock yourself away and get it done.
Like many new and prospective college students, the free application for federal student aid, otherwise known as FAFSA, is even more important this year.
There's $150 billion out there of federal aid, and this aid comes in loans, grants, and even work-study programs. But here's the thing you have to remember. It's a first-come, first-served basis.
Financial expert Megan Gorman says it's important to fill out the FAFSA early, as more families are expected to apply this year due to the economic fallout of the COVID-19 crisis. The form is available starting Thursday with options to apply online or through the app.
People's income that is going to be reported for FAFSA purposes is their 2019 income tax return. But that doesn't mean you can't report to the federal government that you've had a change in economic circumstances.
Families facing financial hardship can take extra steps to request a professional judgment review, submitting information like layoff notices or unemployment checks. College financial aid offices then have the discretion to make adjustments so students can qualify for more aid.
It seems like busy work and it's not very fun, and it takes a while to see the results of it, but you'll eventually get there.
Effort that could be worth the hassle to cut the cost of college. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
Another thing to consider with the application, you'll have to provide a list of schools that you want to apply to. That list could change later, but financial experts suggest casting a wide net of possibilities to get more financial options.
The Pennsylvania State Education Association is applauding the passage of a bill that they say would focus more on student learning over standardized testing because of COVID. If signed, the law would postpone the Keystone exam graduation requirement during the pandemic. The union said educators should be focused on adjusting to the new ways of teaching rather than prepping students for standardized tests. The State House unanimously approved the bill and sent it back to the Senate. Pennsylvania delayed the launch of a new system designed to change how people file for and claim unemployment benefits. The State Labor Department planned to start using the system this fall, but as our Business Times partners report, state lawmakers and the U.S. Labor Department thought switching systems now would be a disruption to people who are already getting benefits. The state says it'll figure out a better time to start the new program.
Royal Dutch Shell plans to lay off 9,000 workers worldwide. The energy giant says part of the cuts are because of low demand. It's also trying to rely less on fossil fuels. Meanwhile, Royal Dutch Shell tells our partners at the Pittsburgh Business Times that its cracker plant in Beaver County is 70% finished. No opening date has been announced yet, but with 6,000 workers back on the job, Shell is hoping they get back on schedule after delays from COVID-19. Shell has gradually brought back workers as well as increased its safety measures. Hurt by attendance and other pandemic restrictions, Disney will lay off 28,000 workers at its parks in California and Florida. Most of the layoffs will be part-time workers. Disney's parks in Florida opened this summer, but the ones in California are still closed.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
It has been a gusty day today, and of course some of those leaves may try to come off your trees if they haven't already. And this is a beautiful picture coming in from Joyce up in Butler. She sent this picture of her sugar maple tree, and beautiful color there. You can really single it out across the area because of all the green trees surrounding it. Love this time of year, and thanks to all of you for sending me your pictures. Now, I did want to let you know those winds are forecast to stay strong through the rest of the day today. Those winds will be sustained anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour, and the gusts will be even higher at times. So we're looking at occasional gusts to about 30 miles per hour. So if you haven't already, hopefully you can go outside and bring in any of your fall decorations that are susceptible to blowing away, that are light in nature, because they may do so today. Tonight, we're looking at those winds coming down. So right around sunset, those winds will start to come down to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. As far as the cloud cover today, well, a lot of us have been dealing with the sunshine, and we're actually going to have more clouds building in throughout the later part of the day and into the evening, and some of us will actually see the chance for some rain. I'll time that out for you in just a second. Meanwhile, we look at the temperatures. They're in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. Butler checking in right now at 59, still holding at 58 in the Pittsburgh area. And our forecast for this afternoon calls for high temperatures in the mid 60s. So we're still looking at below average temperatures. Average is upper 60s for this time of year. So if you have to get out and do a little leaf raking, I do believe we'll stay dry through a good part of the day. For tonight, upper 40s. So it'll be another chilly night for us, just like we had out there this morning, upper 40s, and into tomorrow morning, you'll most likely need at least a light jacket. Here's our hour-by-hour storm tracker maps. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon and still dealing with quite a bit of sunshine out there, but watch what happens as I advance that clock into this afternoon and into this evening. Those clouds do thicken up. Some of us will be having that opportunity for some rain. Initially, by the late afternoon, could be seeing some light passing showers up across our far northern counties. Better shot for the rest of the area, including Pittsburgh, coming in tonight, where we could be actually tracking some pockets of moderate rain. You can see how that rain is still with us during the early overnight hours, and then that'll clear on out of here for your Thursday morning commute. That should stay dry. As far as the temperatures tomorrow, hour by hour you go here with the forecast. If you're out doing a little exercising tomorrow, maybe you're getting on that bike, you might want to wait until the afternoon when the temperatures climb just a bit. We're looking at high temperatures in the lower 60s. Here's a look at the 5-day forecast. Your weekend always in view. As we do head into tomorrow, there is a slight chance for rain. I'll show you that hour-by-hour forecast coming up in the next half hour. Meanwhile, Friday is cooler with highs only in the 50s. We're looking at lows down in the 30s into Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon looks good, but cool, 50s, 58 degrees specifically. And then Sunday, we're looking at mostly dry conditions, but our latest data coming in today does show chance for rain coming in as we head into Sunday night.
First the pandemic, now the fires. Wineries in Northern California are finding it hard to survive. The Glass Fire has burned more than 40,000 acres. That is more than 66 square miles. A lot of that land is dedicated to growing the region's famous grapes.
We're losing customers left and right. We lost them to COVID. Now we're losing them to the fires. It's tough times.
The Glass Fire has destroyed more than 80 homes. It's damaged 18 others. More than 70,000 people have evacuated in the fire's path. The cause of that fire remains under investigation.
A runaway truck slams into a building in Westmoreland County. It was bad. Why? It could have been much worse.
And local groups got a big boost. The neighborhood where hundreds of thousands of dollars will be invested.
Attention, all personnel.
We got to nip it! Golly! Green Acres, we are there! I know nothing! Nothing!
You can find MeTV on Comcast 190, 207, or 1169.
Watch Channel 11 News at 6.
Followed by NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
A local borough ditched a 20-year-old ordinance on yard signs after getting a letter from the ACLU. It was back in 2000 when White Oak required candidates to pay a $75 deposit for placing political signs on private property. The ACLU claims it violates the First Amendment. This election season, 4 local candidates paid the fee. The deposit is returned once signs are removed.
The City and Urban Redevelopment Authority are investing $250,000 in 3 Hill District community projects. Checks were presented to the Amani Christian Community Development Corporation, the Hill Community Development Corporation, and the Hill District Federal Credit Union.
Some years ago, they actually began transitioning to begin trying to figure out how do we really begin to rebuild underserved communities.
Funding for the 3 projects is part of the $568,000 awarded for 12 improvement projects in neighborhoods and programs, other programs across 9 different neighborhoods.
Tens of thousands of local voters are asking for mail-in ballots. Why that has some county officials concerned.
I'm feeling very frustrated, to say the least.
Love and the pandemic collide. The rule change keeping this couple thousands of miles apart, and how they hope the courts will help.
WPXI Now. When a major story breaks, this is where you'll find 24-hour coverage. From the Channel 11 newsroom to our crews live in the field, we'll bring you the information you need right now. WPXI Now. Always on when you want the latest on breaking news.
On Channel 11 Morning News, we tell you what's new, what's happening now, and what's next.
News stories with new details.
Breaking stories, updated all morning. And developing stories to prepare you for what's next on Channel 11 Morning News.
When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5.
And another live look now from Ohio at former Vice President Joe Biden. He's on his train tour. He's addressing some of his followers right now. The White House candidate is on his way to Pittsburgh as well and on to Westmoreland County later this afternoon. We're going to have a live report for you beginning on Channel 11 News at 5.
More than 324,000 Allegheny County voters are getting mail-in ballots. That's more than in any part of the state. And that's leading to questions about whether they can all be counted properly. County officials tell Channel 11's Aaron Martin they are getting prepared, but there are concerns.
Even the senior citizens are really going to be impacted by who we vote for.
You've probably heard this line before, but Nancy Flaherty Beck sees this as one of the most important elections of her lifetime. It will also be a new experience since she won't be lining up at the polls to cast her ballot. Flaherty Beck is one of more than 324,000 voters in Allegheny County who've requested a mail-in ballot, the most statewide. The next closest is Philadelphia County with 294,000, even though our neighbors to the east have 177,000 more registered voters.
You're worried about a lot of things. You want to make sure things are done right. So we hope getting the word out to people. You're always anxious that people go through the process properly.
Allegheny County Executive Rich Fitzgerald says they're preparing for an influx of mail-in ballots. That includes making sure people are submitting their ballots properly so they aren't disqualified.
You put your ballot inside the secrecy envelope, and then you put the secrecy envelope inside the return envelope, and then you sign it. That gives your ballot the validation that is needed by the election department.
Elections officials won't know how many people followed those steps until 7 a.m. on Election Day, the first time they're allowed to begin processing mail-in ballots. But Flaherty Beck is confident there won't be any issues with her ballot.
We've heard about the secrecy ballot, and so when it comes, I can't look at it yet, but when it comes, I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out.
Aaron Martin, Channel 11 News.
The county says voters can request applications for another 4 weeks leading up to the election. Even though there are a lot of people who have already done so, even more are expected over the next several weeks. We have more information about the election in the Decision 2020 section of WPXI.com.
And to the weather now. Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Danielle Dozier joins us live again.
And Danielle, windy out there, but dry at this point.
Yeah, dry so far. I'm expecting a chance for rain coming in more so toward tonight. I'll show you that in just a little bit. Right now, you're taking a look at your forecast for the rest of today. The kids want to get outside. It's going to be fantastic weather for that. I think we're going to have some more clouds, though, thicken up by late day and evening. Temperature-wise, we're going to be in the mid-60s this afternoon. And yes, it will still be rather windy with occasional gusts to 30 miles per hour. Here's the overall picture with the radar. We do have that rain that's back off to the west. And so this is going to slowly move its way to the east, giving us that rain chance later on tonight. We desperately need the rain. Just over the last couple of days, we've picked up 0.22 inches of rain, so just shy of 1/4 of an inch, and that was in my forecast range of 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch for Pittsburgh. And you can see the month-to-date rainfall now. We're still just under an inch of rain for the entire month of September, which, by the way, ends today, so we're going to be well below average, finishing the month more than 2 inches below average. I'll show you that rainfall forecast for your Thursday when I come back in just a few minutes.
A volunteer firefighter is accused of intentionally starting 7 brush fires. Police say Anthony Hazlitt set the fires between mid-April through just last week. He volunteered as a firefighter in Allegheny Township, and police say he actually helped put out some of the fires he started. In the police report, he admitted knowing it was bad, but said his emotions took over. He also said he was treated better at the firehouse than at his own home. No buildings were damaged in the fires and no one was hurt.
A new study out today says Pennsylvania is lagging in its COVID-19 response.
The National Safety Council believes the state didn't go far enough to protect residents. The council evaluated states on guidelines, testing, and contact tracing, along with mental health and substance abuse. 12 states were given top marks, including New York, California, and Washington. Officials say the report is not meant to condemn, but challenge states to learn from each other and do better.
We're getting a look at damage caused by a runaway garbage truck. You'll see it in just a second as those lights dim. Right there, hitting the building, rolling down a hill, crashing into the Borough building, actually, in Ligonier. Police say the truck was parked in an alley on Monday when it started rolling. Both workers were out of the truck at the time, and the building was empty. Surveillance video shows the moment of impact.
The truck drifted, kind of veered to the left a little bit, and they were unable to get into the truck to try to stop it. And it took out a couple parking meters, and as you can see behind me, It went through the first wall and then through council chambers and caused quite a bit of damage.
And you can see the crash left a hole in the brick wall. Insulation was scattered throughout the council chambers. Police say the parking brake in the truck was not engaged. They're waiting for the truck to be inspected before they decide whether to cite the driver.
A Washington County woman joined more than 300 people in a lawsuit against the U.S. State Department regarding a ban on certain visas. This is the K-1 visa. They allow someone to travel to the U.S. to marry a U.S. resident within a certain amount of time. Lila Gabriel says her fiancé, Alex Foster, was approved in March. But once the pandemic hit the U.S., the government and embassies stopped processing the visas.
We have been given absolutely no guidance on how to proceed, so we are banned from him having a visa as of now. Not forever.
Gabriel says attorneys plan to file a temporary restraining order. If approved, her fiancé will be allowed to travel to the U.S.
The U.S. Senate is set to vote today to keep the government open. Funding will expire if nothing is done by midnight, and the government would shut down before the election. The House of Representatives approved the bill by a wide margin last week. It is expected to pass easily in the Senate, and then it heads to the president.
Developing right now, a local bank robber may have struck again. You can see police outside the Dollar Bank at Penn Hills Shopping Center yesterday afternoon. A man wearing all blue clothing and a gator mask, claiming he had a gun, was there. Investigators believe the same man robbed the Citizens Bank in Monroeville in late August. The FBI is helping in both investigations.
Country music star and songwriter Mac Davis has died. His manager said Davis died this week following heart surgery. The country music icon first found fame writing hits like A Little Less Conversation and In the Ghetto for Elvis Presley. Davis was a top-selling singer in his own right and an actor. He was 78 years old. And the woman behind a popular feminist anthem has died. Helen Reddy's Children has said that she passed away in Los Angeles. The Australian singer was best known for the 1970s song I Am Woman. It was her signature hit and won her a Grammy. She was 78 years old.
And he kept crying out for it. Oh, you're reading me, you're reading me. I said, I don't care.
A bad guy chooses the wrong apartment building, coming up the crime that got this woman so angry. A big surprise on national television for a local school district in need. Students and teachers were presented with 2,500 laptops and free internet for a year.
It's a big opportunity. I mean, I really appreciate it.
Giving every student equal access to education makes us proud to be from Pittsburgh.
Proud to be from Pittsburgh. Brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Great cars, great people. For a great deal on a Honda, visit shophonda.com. Watch Catherine Amenta and Gordon Lesh on Channel 11 Morning News.
A local borough is looking for help buying police body cameras. Sharpsburg applied for a grant through the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency. The borough is looking to buy 11 cameras at a cost of $25,000. If approved, the grant will pay for half of that. The police chief told our Trib partners that he hopes the cameras will improve community relations.
The Catholic Diocese of Pittsburgh will allow more people to attend Mass starting this weekend. The diocese announced the change yesterday. It's increasing the limit on Mass attendance to 50%. The decision will be left up to each individual priest. Worshippers will still need to wear a mask and social distance. Right now, Masses are limited to 25%.
2 women caught on camera vandalizing the memorial for a slain Pennsylvania police officer. Video shows one woman acting as a lookout while the second removes a flag and tosses it into the weeds. The Montgomery County Memorial honors Officer Brad Fox. Fox and his canine partner were shot and killed while chasing a criminal in 2012.
New at noon, the Allegheny County Health Department says a raccoon has tested positive for rabies in Mount Lebanon. The animal was found on Morrison Drive. This year, 19 animals have tested positive for rabies in Allegheny County. 7 of them have been raccoons. Westmoreland County has recorded its first West Nile case of the season. A mosquito tested positive in Greensburg. Officials with the state's West Nile virus control program says the pandemic has not stopped them from tracking the virus this season. There were 91 positive cases in Allegheny County and 5 in Beaver. Some good news, your risk for catching the disease drops off in September. This year, the state had just 1 positive human case. Flu season is around the corner, why some local doctors think this round could be relatively mild.
And we're looking at highs in the mid-60s today. A bit gusty out there. Coming up, I'll let you know just how cold it'll be when you head out the door tomorrow morning.
You're streaming WPXI Now, your source for original local shows. Get the inside scoop on all the hot events, entertainment, and celebrities in and around Pittsburgh every week. Stream Access Pittsburgh on demand anytime on WPXI Now.
Weeknights on MeTV. Watch The Flintstones at 6, Happy Days at 6:30, and MASH at 7.
You can find MeTV on Comcast 190, 207, or 1169, and on these and other providers.
Nobody can read between the lines like Judge Judy.
While people take steps to avoid COVID-19, doctors say don't forget about your flu shot. Channel 11's Gabriella DeLuca spoke with local doctors about why they think this season will be mild compared to other seasons.
In a year where good news is at times hard to come by, flu season may bring us just that, according to UPMC doctors.
We are optimistic this flu season will be mild.
In a news conference, the doctors said they're basing that prediction off of what's happening in the southern half of the world.
Currently, countries in the southern hemisphere are approaching the end of their traditional flu season, and they're reporting good news. The infection prevention measures taken against COVID-19, such as masking and social distancing, appear to have diminished the spread of flu.
Their hope is that the trend continues to western Pennsylvania, where most COVID-19 precautions and guidelines are still in place. But restrictions recently lifted on gatherings does give them some concern.
Whether or not there's a law that says, or it's deemed unconstitutional, that gatherings are or aren't allowed, I think we as citizens of the state have to pay attention to this is how the virus is transmitted. And in order for us to stay well, we need to make sure that we don't gather in large groups without masks. If our communities stay strong and continue to do what we need to do to prevent COVID-19, this may help reduce the impact of influenza and other viruses.
Well, the flu shot is readily available. UPMC officials say there is likely a ways to go when it comes to a COVID-19 vaccine, a topic that comes up often, especially in politics.
I know we're all hoping for a COVID vaccine to become widely available before the end of the year. But as scientists, again, with a long track record of experience in this field, this is simply not going to happen.
Gabriella DeLuca, Channel 11 News.
Kylie Jenner's cosmetics company, Kylie Cosmetics, is warning that its e-commerce vendor had a security breach. The company says 2 workers for the vendor got a hold of customer emails, names, addresses, and order details. Complete payment card numbers and other sensitive personal information was not affected. The FBI is investigating.
The cast and crew of Saturday Night Live are preparing for their first live show since the COVID pandemic. The show posted these images on its social media account, and you can see the cast and this week's host, Chris Rock, socially distanced as they rehearsed. Saturday's season premiere is the first live show since production shut down in March because of the pandemic. Due to New York City COVID restrictions, Saturday's show will premiere in front of a limited studio audience. We are keeping a close eye on this. The International Space Station apparently leaking air. Russian officials say they don't think the leak poses any danger to the 3 men on board. The crew plans to fix the problem in the next few days. Russia's space agency says more air can be delivered if needed.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Beautiful so far today, albeit it is windy out there. You can see those trees shaking in our live tower cam picture right now. Winds are gusting up to about 26 miles per hour in Pittsburgh. We've seen them sustained as high as 15 to 20 miles per hour, 26 in Beaver. Hopefully your fall decorations aren't blowing around out there. You can see our temperatures ranging from 58 in Pittsburgh to 60 in Beaver, and temperatures this afternoon will go up into the mid 60s, so it won't be too bad out there, but it definitely will feel a little bit cooler, and the temperatures will be checking in below average, which is upper 60s. We're in for a cold night tonight. Once again, you're going to need an extra blanket on the bed and a light jacket out there early tomorrow morning. The temperature in Pittsburgh falls to about 48 degrees, up in Beaver 48, 46 in Butler. In Indiana, you're also going to be checking in the upper 40s. As far as your hour-by-hour planner as you head out the door tomorrow morning, what I'm expecting is that we're going to see some sun and some clouds, and the temperature right around 49 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. So this is going to be a dry forecast for the first part of the day on Thursday. Let me show you here on our storm tracker maps. We'll go through today first and then look ahead to tomorrow. So 2 o'clock this afternoon, some sun, some clouds out there. Clouds do thicken up, I think, as we head toward evening, and we'll bring in a stray shower chance this evening as well. I think the better shot at more widespread rain, though, comes in tonight. You can see that here, and this is a look at 11:30 this evening. So some pockets of moderate rain are very well possible. That's showing up in yellow and orange, but that's going to be clearing out during the overnight period. We'll be decreasing the clouds into tomorrow morning, and it'll be dry for your Thursday morning commute. The dry stretch of weather for the day will come to an end as we head toward late afternoon on Thursday, where we're looking at a chance at least for some isolated showers across the area. So do have your umbrella with you before you head out tomorrow, just in case there is a stray shower over your area. As far as the temperatures go tomorrow, highs are going to be checking in the lower 60s, so perhaps just a tad bit cooler than what we have out there today. And the winds won't be too bad either, 5 to 15 miles per hour on average tomorrow, so nowhere near as windy as what we have out there today at least. 52 at 9 o'clock, goes to 61 degrees as we head into 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll top out near 63 degrees. If you have to get your lawn mowed tomorrow, you should do it in the first part of the day, just in case there is that rain that moves in later on. As far as the temperatures tomorrow, 63 in Beaver, 63 for you in Washington, and we're looking at these below average temperatures continuing through this week because we have this dip in the jet stream that's really far to the south across the area, but it also is hovering over the area, not really going anywhere. So we're reinforcing the cooler air that is coming into the area. And at times we'll have these little disturbances coming in as well, which is leading to these rain chances we have here over the next couple of days. We're at 58 on Friday with a chance for an isolated shower, into the upper 30s, which could be some of the coldest air of the season for us as we head into Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon is dry for your outdoor plans. Sunday is a tad bit warmer in the mid 60s, and we're also looking at another weather system that'll bring rain to the area by Sunday night.
Thanks, Danielle. A rare bird was spotted in Westmoreland County. Take a look at the coloring on this rose-breasted grosbeak. Half of its body has male coloring, the other half has female coloring. The bird was found at Powder Mill Nature Preserve, and it was tagged so officials at the Carnegie Museum of Natural History can keep an eye on it. Still to come on Channel 11 News at noon, the small sign that has a Pennsylvania family breathing a little easier today.
Here's local Steals and Deals' Lisa Robertson.
Hey, Lisa Robertson here with Local Steals and Deals, and oh my gosh, you are going to want to hear this. This is the Clean Light Air. I love this, and right now I'm just thinking of how many I'm going to get, so here's why. This little device can clean a room up to 160 square feet. What do I mean by clean? I mean this cleans the air. There's a HEPA filter in here. It's a HEP 13 HEPA filter that cleans the air 360 degrees around. It actually takes 99% of the particles out of the air. Particles as small as smoke and dust and pet dander and pollen and all of VOCs and all those things nobody wants to be breathing in, takes them out, right? But then there's more, because after it goes through the HEPA filter, it goes through a UVC LED light that kills, wait for it, 99.99% of the bacteria and germs, takes out 99% of the bad particles, and then kills 99.99% of the bacteria and germs. So this is one where I think, wait a minute, number one, I want one of these, and I want one in my kitchen. That's where I tend to spend my time. I want one that I can take with me in the car when I'm riding around. I want one that can be, in the office when I'm working. This is something I was thinking, wait a minute, I have a niece who's going to be going off to college. I really want to get her one of these for her dorm room. I have a nephew who's studying at home. I want to get one of these for him for one in his bedroom when he's in there studying all the time. I want to get one of these for my dad. He and his wife are home all the time. This is a time when we're all trying to do those basic common sense things to make ourselves safer, make our families safer, make the people we love safer. Isn't it amazing that it can be as small and simple as this is? Oh, it even works for aromatherapy. You can use essential oils, make the air smell great, and charge your cell phone while you're using it. All of this is 25% off on localsteals.com. I wish I had more time because, oh my gosh, is it amazing. But trust when I tell you, you're going to want a lot of them. I know I do.
News is happening in your neighborhood. Channel 11 News is there.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, and Butler. We cover news everywhere you live, not just downtown. We're in Aliquippa, Coriopolis, and Moon.
Bringing you stories that impact your town. That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
More local news from more neighborhoods. That's a fact. We're in Bethel Park, South Park, and Mount Lebanon. When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5.
What's new?
What's now and what's next every morning
on Channel 11 Morning News.
A 67-year-old woman in California has been called a hero for rescuing her neighbor. 82-year-old Elizabeth McCrae is safe, and she says she owes it all to her friend, Lorenza Maruja. The woman says a man broke into Lorenza's apartment recently. She scared him off with a baseball bat, so he tried to break into McCrae's place. Unfortunately for him, Lorenza followed.
I told him if he doesn't leave or leave her alone, that I was going to do some damage that he's not going to appreciate.
And don't mess with her. Eventually, someone called the police. Officers say they would have preferred it if the woman called them first.
She's good.
Yeah.
A glimmer of hope for a young football player who collapsed on the field. Johnny Hubel's mother posted on social media that her son opened his eyes. The Erie McDowell senior had been in a medically induced coma since Friday when he collapsed during the game. He was flown here to a Pittsburgh hospital where he underwent 2 brain surgeries, and we wish that family well. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon.
Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Breaking News Desk is really an invaluable tool.
You're going to get breaking news as it's happening. You can be assured that everything I tell you is something that's important that's going to impact your day.
We have an anchor now dedicated to following the latest information as it comes in.
I know the neighborhoods, I know the school districts, and that really helps to inform you so that you know if something is going to impact your family.
As soon as she gets that information, the Breaking News Desk is able to go on air, bring that information to you and share it.
That is a resource no one else has. If you see me on the Breaking News Desk, you know it's an important story.